welcome again, this time to another match in Group F, which is the second match in Group F now. The first match was also done by AnotherDinosaur, which he lost versus Arch Nemesis. This match is AnotherDinosaur versus Razakin, and it's going to be interesting to see if AnotherDinosaur continues his more defensive playstyle and how Razakin is reacting to that. So let's just look at the map. So what do we have here other than not being able to see? Okay, now we see all enemies. So what do we have here? We have obviously this spot, which is more or less a standoff between shotguns, because if one shotgun moves, the other, he dies. Green is in the better position because he has the barrier, but it doesn't matter all that much for equality. If he's moving away from this, or if he's moving in there and this guy keeps standing still, he would probably get him. If this guy moves away from here and he keeps standing still, he will die. So best course of action would probably be just to just keep covering the area, especially because green can not only cover the entrance to this building and the entrance to that building, but also basically any movement that red is doing. Even if he's moving away, which wouldn't kill him, he would still see it, which is a huge advantage for the green position. Best course of action would probably to just have him stay there. Maybe he could be really quick if he's just walking around here and then going into that building, but it's a pretty dangerous situation for red here. Well, those other two guys are well, that is a funky position. Well, the MG is obviously gonna move into one of these barricades. I suppose he could also move up here, but that's unlikely. He's probably gonna move between those two barricades to try to get a viewing angle on the whole map, which would be really advantageous for red. But he can't do that for long. He can only stay there for like 1 or 2 rounds until he needs to move or he gets shot. But still, it's advantageous to have an idea of the whole movement of the map. And this guy is probably the most useless shotgunner ever. He can't move the shotgunner into the main area, because if he's moving it down, that area would be easily covered by the green MG, and if he's moving up here, that area might be covered by that green MG eventually, or by that shotgunner. It might work that if he's moving up and just hiding behind those barriers for a while to get in here. But then again, it would be so risky that I don't see much point, and he's probably just better off letting that shotgunner wait here in case one of the others tries to rush in to that position. So what do we have here now? This looks like a party for a very dead red man. Basically what this guy is covering is the whole upper part of the room. This guy could be covering that entrance immediately, and also, like, if he moves a little, the whole right side of the room. And if this shotgunner just runs in, straight runs into this room, he would also just immediately kill it. So that's actually a super safe position for green. Just cover this entrance with that guy, just let him stay there. Move this a little to the side, cover both entrances here, and the shotgunner can just move in and take him out without any problem. There isn't much red can do. Maybe red could hide in a corner and hope that green is like only moving in, and if you only move in and don't adjust the viewing angle, you might be able to oversee a corner and then die from that. Be aware of this, guys. This is actually a very well working tactic if the other guys are a little bit careless. But other than that, red is probably gonna die in this one. Okay, so let's see what the first round brings us. Well, that were some very expected things and some very unexpected things. Let's probably look at them more closely. Obviously, one of the shotgunners died because they both moved in. In this case, the faster shotgunner died, which, like as I said, it would have been probably a smart move to just let it stay there and cover it for a while because he wasn't threatened by anything else at the moment anyway, and he was a lot more disadvantaged by the situation. This guy is basically free now. I mean, he's almost in range of the MG, so he needs to be careful of that, but basically he's pretty safe to just move in that position. But yeah, what happened to this guy, by the way? Wait, let me watch it again. So this MG got killed by the MG that was standing up here. Okay, I didn't even have that on my radar, but apparently the MG up here, like I'm not even sure, like Red probably didn't even have that on his radar, but the MG from up here had a line of sight through this door, and this door to exactly this position, which killed him. Like Green tried to keep a view on that entrance and totally didn't notice that situation, and I didn't either. So that was very, very unfortunate for Green. But yeah, it's super easy to oversee these little details. But first kill for this MG, which was looking over the whole map. As I said, this position is really, really important for Red because he can just overlook anything, and if he is not being overly uncautious, he should be able to defend those units basically until the end of the game. As you see, also that shotgun didn't move anywhere because it's also super dangerous to move him. What happened down here? Well, the red MG didn't die. Why didn't he die? What happened? Oh. Oh yeah, well Green moved. Well, he shouldn't have done that. He was trying to, as I said, he was trying to cover the entrances down here with the MG and the shotgun. And he was trying to get a better viewing angle, I suppose, with that MG, but he wouldn't have needed to, because that viewing angle was pretty much almost perfect. If your viewing angle is almost so good, and Red or your opponent cannot do anything about that unit with a second unit or whatever, then you don't really need to move. Just let that guy stand there and cover the area, because if he would have stood still, this MG would have died immediately. Also, the MG, if you are... That MG apparently only moved in pretty quickly into that room, pretty slowly into that room. That isn't actually necessary. Because MGs, if they rush into a room, like if you straight run into a room and there's an MG there, the SG will always win. So you could have just run in, check quickly to all sides, and kill the MG. I think he would have been even quick enough. Yeah, he would have probably got the MG before he moved around the corner, and even then, the shotgunner could have also just walked right back into the next room and would have gotten him anyway. So that was a bit unfortunate. Guys, try to remember how strong shotguns are in enclosed spaces. They can really wreck some MGs up in short range. Okay, so what's left? We still have those guys who are... I suppose they aren't gonna move much because that guy has a perfect position to just have everything in sight, and the shotgunner can't move because, well, right now he might be able to move because Red managed to kill all the MGs from Green, so the shotgunner could actually move in and help out that MG, or he just stays there to keep that MG safe. It's hard to say. That MG is probably going to be followed by this shotgunner. Technically, you should just run in and kill it. Like, there shouldn't be much that the MG can do. But yeah, other than that, there's probably not that much going to happen. This is to be expected, and other than that, this looks like a little bit of a standoff, which might explain those 8 rounds here. Shotgunner moved in, killed the MG, and on the upper hand, Red moved around to get a better viewing angle. I don't quite get why the MG moved down here, because the MG is much more advantageous if he has the viewing angle over the whole free area. Maybe he sort of thought that this shotgun is still missing. Like, I think in the last round, he didn't see that shotgunner, right? Yeah, he might not have seen the shotgunner, so he might have been a little bit wary if he moved down here and if he might be able to move in up from that building and get him from behind. But he obviously didn't, and Red now knows that because his other MG also got killed, so Red is pretty safe up here. Will probably just defend the whole area, and we're gonna have some more standoffs. Yes, as I said, some more standoffs, tactical positioning. There isn't much anybody can do right now. Well, nothing super useful because the green cannot rush in because the MG will always get them no matter where they run in. Not to mention that this shotgun will probably defend one or two entrances until the end of the game. And red also can't move in there because they would lose their super defensive position here. So more standoffs, I suppose. Oh shit. Oh crap. That was unfortunate for green. He tried to just keep his area safe, his buildings, but by doing so, he got into the line of the MG, which of course was very, very unfortunate and he got immediately killed. He probably also got killed a little bit quicker because he still had some bonus over the barrier here. Well, that changed this standoff. Well, now this is really tricky for who? For AnotherDinosaur. Because he can't move in, because if he could move in, well, if he moved in, he would still probably be caught by the MG. He might be able to move in that area, which is currently not being covered by red. But then again, green doesn't know that. Like, green doesn't know anything about what red is covering. So just walking out there and just trying to move up here would be incredibly dangerous. So yeah, I mean, red can just probably just defend that whole area. Green probably can't move in, and that's probably going to be the end of the game. Red is still setting up the whole defense and basically has now coverage over everything. Oh wait, why is red doing that? Razakin is very adventurous. Instead of just trying to keep that defensive position, he's trying to move in to go for the last kill. Which might not work out so well because green is still inside that building complex, and anything that gets close, he has the advantage because he will shoot basically first because he will see things first, or he might just sit behind a corner or anything. These shotgunner guys probably saw each other in round 6. Yeah, they saw each other. So they know that they are moving towards each other. Green will probably move in some more, maybe try to hide somewhere down here because he knows that red is moving in. But red shouldn't move in. Like this, as I said, this is super. This standoff here is more advantageous for green than it is for red. Also, red already made very bad experiences with shotgunner standoffs. Remember the shotgun or something. So maybe he's moving in some more. He could also move in the MG from behind. If he's running, he might get the shotgun in 2 turns. So let's just see what happens. The shotgunners saw each other again. The MG isn't moving in, so he won't have any effect on the last round. The shotgunners are moving into each other, and red is sitting behind a barrier, but since he is ducking, he can't actually shoot above the barrier. So if green is just standing here, or if he's covering the entrance area, red shouldn't move or he will likely die. Oh, this is really dangerous for red. if he is continuing to move in. If he just stays there, he might actually survive because green can't rush into him either. So as I said, as in the first shotgunner duel, who moves in loses. Let's see what happens. And exactly that happened. Greens tried to keep the entrance safe, even though it wasn't dangerous to get so close to the entrance. And red tried to go for the kill into the room, which obviously got him killed because he was protecting it. Anyway, that was a really interesting match because it's rare to see such a very asymmetrical setup with that whole defensive position and how the other player might need to try to work around that. I mean, there would have been ways and possibilities, but this is always really tricky. But I mean, it's interesting to see how people react to getting thrown into such a random position. Yes, if there was one lesson to be learned from this match, don't do shotgunner standoffs. Just don't, or at least don't move in a shotgunner standoff. And also, if you're covering the area here, just keep your feet still sometimes. I mean, it's obviously worth mentioning that you should often move your units so that the enemy doesn't know 100% where your unit is stationed. But in this case, that wouldn't have been a disadvantage. If he had just let that MG stand there, he would have killed the other guy because he had full grasp on the whole room. But anyway, this was a really interesting match. Congratulations, guys, on the draw. That also keeps the group interesting because the group in F now has still Arch Nemesis with 3 points and AnotherDinosaur and Razakin both coming up with 1. Alright, so I'm just gonna let the whole game run through again and then I'm gonna see if I can make another match. See ya!